Hello, I'm Shigeru Miyamoto, a game developer of Nintendo. For the earliest video games, one programmer could develop a whole game by themselves. As technology advanced, sound and music specialists and graphic designers have also played a part in development. Since Donkey Kong's release in 1981, I've created games where Mario uses his jump abilities to face off against rivals. The idea for Super Mario Bros. Was born at a meeting where I presented my desire to create a bigger hero who runs around in a setting with beautiful graphics. We discussed whether this will appeal to the current market and brainstorm new ideas. We wanted to create a robust Famicom game where large characters move around. It used to be normal for Famicom games to have stages that didn't scroll. There was side-scrolling for some shooting games, but not for any other. We wanted to create a game where large characters are animated in land, sea, and sky settings. This was probably the first Famicom game I've created which had blue skies. Before, I focused on creating dark-colored landscapes so it's easier to see the outlines. Here you can see some drawn boxes with notes saying Mario, enemy, and ground.
When we were looking through the old documents, we found this.
We did.
This is actually very precious. When we first thought of Super Mario Bros., we are talking about making a game utilizing the earth, sea, and sky.
Yeah.
And this is when we were thinking about how to play in the sky.
He suggested Mario to float around in a cloud and shoot at coins from it. But I gave him a solid nope, because it was too much work and impossible to do at the time. But now you can.
So in Super Mario Maker, you can move around in a cloud and throw fireballs.
You can finally fly around like Lakitu. This was finally made possible.
30 years later, it finally happened. First, we decided what kind of course to make. At the time, we didn't really use computerized tools. Instead, we hand drew the stages and inputted data based on those drawings. For example, we drew the layout of the stage on graph paper, like this one here, and then we handed it over to the programmer, who inputted it after converting it to numerical data. So we didn't see the finished course until the next day or so.
This is a stage layout for what appears on a TV screen. When zoomed out, it is just this small segment on this course map. This paper layout was handmade by us. So this is how we planned out a side-scrolling course. If there are too many edits drawn on the paper, we layered on some tracing paper to write some more.
We took this process very seriously because programmers put a lot of time inserting this data manually. We couldn't slack off or experiment too much with the program.
If we kept changing our minds, the programmers would scold us, saying, "This is the last time we're changing this." We wrote out what kind of stages we wanted to create on a giant whiteboard. Then we created a layout by pasting notes on the board, like what the background should be or what would appear.
The process is actually still the same for the Super Mario series. We needed to make tools easier to use for creating side-scrolling stages. So the tool developer team worked on creating the basics of what would become Super Mario Maker.
The tools are a little different, but the creative process is very similar. This project began with the idea of, wouldn't it be fun if these tools became a game so anyone can create these levels?
One of the things we focused on the most was the game's response. So anyone can make a stage super easily. We didn't want to have strange scenes pop out during the experience and wanted to avoid things that would take away a player's time.
In Super Mario Maker, you can immediately see what you've created, so it's fun being able to edit it on the spot as much as you want.
Instead of just coins, you can add enemies into the blocks. When you hit the block, the enemy you placed in will pop out. But if you put in an enlarged enemy, a giant enemy will pop out. As a developer, the reaction I'm hoping for is, I wonder what happens with this. Oh, it worked.
Years ago, we needed to physically insert a cartridge to operate a program we were working on. After a game was complete, we'd put a different program in the cartridge and had fun playing with it. With this experience in mind, we're hoping players will have a similar fun experience inserting different characters with Amiibo.
We've put a lot of thought into how to make the Amiibo experience fun with this game. By using Amiibo, you can replace Mario with many Amiibo characters. To celebrate Mario's 30th anniversary, we made an 8-bit Mario Amiibo. This Amiibo is special. If you scan it in, Mario will grow a little bigger than usual. The Amiibo also appears a little larger than other Amiibo, so Mario will grow to a size similar to that. I think there are many types of people out there, like those that like to create fun levels and those that like to challenge tough levels. We're hoping that both types of people will enjoy playing this game. There are levels already available to play in the game, so players could use them as a reference in building their own levels and help give them a general idea of what this game is all about.
I'm definitely better at playing them.
I'm not that good. There's a function where you can upload the stages you've created online. You can also pick out courses you're interested in, which were uploaded by other players.
To me, if it's someone I know like Tezuka-san who made the level, that alone is fun. But also, if he takes something that I made and he edits it a little himself, that's also interesting. Having a sample to work from changes the way you play.
You'll be able to play Mario games like never before. People ask us whether it's fun to create your own things. In reality, we experiment with things, and the result is something that we have created. So you actually play by experimenting. You can see a ranking of popular uploaded stages in-game. If you play a popular stage and it isn't fun, you can get a new perspective that your interests aren't mainstream.
It's game design tutorial software.
Instead of just playing games by following a preset course, I hope they'll discover the joy of creating ways to play themselves.
And you can have someone try it out, and if they fail, you can try showing them an example. If you mess up too, you can have fun working together to make that area a little easier. I think the process of creating the stage is more fun compared to focusing on creating perfect levels.
I hope this will help players become better game designers.
このビデオテープで任天堂のテレビゲームがどのようにして出来上がるかがご理解いただけたと思います。ありがとうございました。